Batman, the Dark Knight, the Caped Crusader, Gotham's protector. But when it comes to who played him best, who truly captures the heart and soul of Batman? Is it the campy charm of Adam West, the gritty realism of Christian Bale, or the dark, tortured soul of Ben Affleck? Let's dive into the battle for the title of greatest Batman and explore who truly deserves the crown. Number 1, Adam West. Let's start with the OG, the first ever live-action Batman, Adam West. Now, some fans might not consider him the best in the traditional sense, but West's portrayal laid the foundation for everything that followed. Adam West's Batman was a far cry from the brooding, mysterious figure we know today. His Batman was playful, campy, and more of a figurehead than a Dark Knight. The show had moments of charm, but it was also a comedic, lighthearted experience, full of over-the-top antics and corny sound effects. West wasn't trying to create a dark, tortured hero. He embraced the fun and excitement that came with being a superhero. His version of Batman was more of a morally righteous, slightly goofy crime fighter, often pulling out gadgets at the most opportune moments, much to the delight of children. Adam West's Batman gave the world its first live-action portrayal of the character, making Batman a household name. It was a blueprint for future interpretations of the character, showing that Batman could be both heroic and entertaining at the same time. Was Adam West the best Batman? Maybe not. But he was definitely the most iconic at the time and a key figure in making Batman mainstream. The Batman franchise needed a reset after the campy 60s version, and what better way than with the dark gothic vision of Tim Burton's Batman? Enter Michael Keaton, an actor who wasn't the obvious choice, but became one of the most iconic Batmans in cinematic history. Keaton's Batman brought a darker, more complex take on the character. His portrayal leaned heavily into the psychological side of Bruce Wayne, showing a man struggling with trauma and guilt, but still carrying the weight of responsibility as Gotham's protector. He made the character feel human, something fans had never seen before in live action. Keaton's Batman wasn't just about the suit or the gadgets. It was about the inner turmoil of Bruce Wayne and the fact that Batman was more of a curse than a blessing. Keaton's Batman was a complex, broken man hiding behind the mask. Tim Burton's Batman, 1989, and Batman Returns, 92, set a darker tone for superhero movies that we still see today. These films became essential to the superhero genre's evolution and redefined what a serious Batman movie could look like. Was Michael Keaton the greatest Batman? Some fans say yes. His Batman wasn't just a crime fighter, he was a symbol of Gotham's darkness and the inner conflict of its hero.
Why can't you just die?
After the success of Keaton's Batman, the franchise took a colorful turn with Val Kilmer's portrayal in Batman Forever, 1995. Kilmer was cast as the new Bruce Wayne, but did he live up to the legacy left by Keaton? Kilmer's Batman was much lighter and more approachable compared to Keaton's dark and brooding take. While the film itself had a brighter, almost neon-like aesthetic, Kilmer's portrayal often felt out of place. His Bruce Wayne was a charming, almost too polished version of the character, and his Batman felt more like an extension of that persona. Though Batman Forever had its moments, like Jim Carrey's electrifying Riddler, many fans felt Kilmer's Batman was underwhelming. His version didn't have the emotional depth of Keaton's Batman, and the movie's more lighthearted approach didn't resonate with every fan. Kilmer's Batman wasn't the worst, but it definitely didn't live up to its potential. If only the script had been as sharp as the Batsuit. Number 4.
7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
After Val Kilmer, the franchise tried something new with Batman and Robin, that's at 1997, but it was a critical and commercial disaster. Could Clooney's Batman have saved it? Key point, Clooney's Batman was all about charm, but there was very little depth to his portrayal. He was suave, sure, but his version of Batman lacked the gravitas that the character needed. Clooney was more of a figurehead than a symbol of justice, and it was obvious the film was leaning into a campy comic book aesthetic that didn't fit with the dark tone established by the previous Batman. Batman and Robin is often considered one of the worst superhero movies ever made. And Clooney's Batman, while charismatic, just didn't fit the darker, more realistic world that fans had come to expect. Clooney himself even admitted he wasn't happy with how the film turned out. Clooney's Batman wasn't necessarily bad, it just didn't fit the tone that was needed for the character. It was a misstep that left many fans disappointed.
this guy to deliver us one of the city's biggest crime lords.
Number 5. Christian Bale. Now we come to one of the most iconic Batman of all time, Christian Bale. With Batman Begins, Bale brought the Dark Knight back to life in a way that hadn't been done before. The gritty, realistic world of Gotham became the perfect backdrop for Bale's performance. Bale's Batman was gritty, grounded, and psychologically complex. His portrayal of Bruce Wayne as a man struggling with guilt, trauma, and a sense of purpose brought emotional depth to the character. His Dark Knight trilogy gave us a Batman that felt real flawed but determined. The Dark Knight became a cultural phenomenon, and Bale's Batman became the benchmark for superhero movies for a long time. His version was as much about the man behind the mask as the hero himself. Was Bale the greatest? Many argue he is. His Batman is dark, layered, and a true reflection of a man struggling with his own demons. He's Batman the way it was meant to be.
Men are brave.
Next up, Ben Affleck, the most controversial Batman in recent years. When Affleck was cast, fans were divided. Could he pull it off? Was he the right choice? Affleck's Batman was a departure from the younger, more agile versions. His Batman was older, more battle-worn and brutal. His physicality and grittiness made him intimidating. But his portrayal also showed a Batman who had lost his way and became consumed with vengeance. Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice divided fans. But Affleck's Batman was praised for being a darker, more intimidating version. His brutal combat style and distrust of Superman set him apart from previous Batmen. Affleck's Batman is often considered one of the most intense. Is he the best? For some, definitely. For others, not so much.
I'm vengeance.
Finally, we arrive at the latest Batman, Robert Pattinson. When Pattinson was cast, fans couldn't help but wonder if the sparkly vampire from Twilight could pull off the Dark Knight. Pattinson's Batman is a younger, more introspective version. His portrayal of Bruce Wayne as a reclusive, emotionally raw individual hit differently compared to the other Batman. The Batman 2022 was darker, detective-focused, and more grounded in reality. Pattinson's Batman isn't a superhero movie. It's a noir thriller, with the detective work front and center. His performance adds complexity and vulnerability to the character, giving a fresh take on Batman's persona. So, who is the greatest Batman? It's a tough call. Each actor brought something unique to the role, but ultimately, it comes down to personal preference. Do you like your Batman brooding, gritty, and grounded, or do you prefer the campy charm of the classics? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more epic superhero debates. Until next time, I'll see you in Gotham.